Demand is one of the most important ideas in all of economics. Demand shows the quantity of a product that consumers will buy at each possible price. It can be expressed in a table called a demand schedule. We will be examining the demand for unleaded gasoline. Gasoline is measured in gallons, and the time period is 1 month. In this table, you can see that as the price falls from $2.40 per gallon to $2.10 per gallon, the amount of gasoline demanded increases from 30 million gallons per month to 40 million gallons. Further reductions in price lead to increases in the number of gallons demanded. This inverse relationship between the price per gallon and the number of gallons demanded reflects the law of demand. Another way of viewing this relationship is in the form of a graph that shows the demand curve. Each line in the table corresponds to a point in the graph. For example, if the price per gallon is $2.40, 30 million gallons will be demanded. We can show that as point A. Each of the other rows of the table corresponds to a point in the graph. If we connect up all these points, we obtain the demand curve for gasoline. Notice that this line slopes downward from the upper left to lower right. This negative or inverse relationship reflects the law of demand. As the price falls, more and more gasoline is demanded. Later on, you will learn precisely why demand curves slope downward. For now, just notice that if something becomes less expensive, people wish to buy more of it. And if it becomes more expensive, they wish to buy less of it. Also, be sure to distinguish between the demand for gasoline and the quantity demanded. The demand for gasoline is the entire curve. It is not a specific quantity, but rather the whole relationship between price and quantity. Quantity demanded, on the other hand, is how much is purchased at a particular price. For instance, if the price per gallon is $1.50, then the corresponding quantity demanded is 60 million gallons per month. If the price falls to $1.20 per gallon, then the quantity demanded increases from 60 to 70 million gallons monthly. As a result of a lower price, the quantity demanded has increased. A movement along the demand curve in response to a change in price is called a change in quantity demanded, not a change in demand. A given demand curve like this one shows the relationship between price and quantity demanded, assuming that all other factors that could affect demand remain unchanged. Some other factors that could affect demand include consumer incomes, prices of related goods, consumer expectations, the number of consumers in the market, and consumer tastes. Let's see how a change in one of these factors affects demand. One of these factors is consumer income. If consumers become richer, we expect their demand patterns to change. For most goods, and certainly for gasoline, an increase in income will lead consumers to increase their quantity demanded at every price. An increase in income, then, causes the entire demand curve to shift to the right. For example, at a price of $1.50 per gallon, the quantity demanded increases from 60 million gallons per month along the original demand curve D to 80 million gallons along the new demand curve D1. Another factor assumed constant along a given demand curve is the price of a related good. We say that two goods are substitutes if an increase in the price of one of them leads to an increase in the demand for the other. For instance, air travel is a substitute for automobile travel. So, an increase in the price of plane tickets would lead fewer people to fly, and that would increase their demand for gasoline. Other goods are used together, such as gasoline and automobiles. We say that these goods are complements. An increase in the price of one of these goods would reduce the demand for the other. For instance, an increase in the price of new automobiles would cause the demand curve for gasoline to shift to the left. There are several other factors that could cause a change in demand, and therefore a shift of the entire demand curve. Read your text carefully so that you understand the difference between a movement along a demand curve and a shift of the entire curve. This concludes our tutorial on demand.